Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victoria Brasha. Thank you to have you guys attending my webinar today. And for the ones on the webinar, if you have any question, you can put in a Q&A. If I get the chance to answer it, I will. Otherwise, I'll follow up with the email, okay? Okay, let me start sharing screen first. And did I start recording? Okay, I think I'm in recording as well too. Okay, good. Okay, today is the number 3 series for the Tuesday webinar, which is how to set up sales revenue and expense projection. But before we started on the Tuesdays, we will spend the first 15 minutes talking about SBA loans, updates, briefings, what's new, what's need to be, considered and being careful with, okay? Okay, this one I need. Okay, so today's already the week 3 about the for the Tuesday ones. And then next week, Tuesday, it's going to be how to get additional business loans for your business and finance, and get your business and finance in order, okay? Okay, now I know, first of all, thank you for attending my webinar, and for the Facebook fans, thank you for watching online as well too. Now, with all these webinars, seminars, and articles going on, while listening to me, Victoria Brasha. And so let me just spend a few minutes introducing myself. First of all, I'm a certified business advisor for Silicon Valley Small Business Development Center. It's a nonprofit organization funded by SBA and local government. And for the Silicon Valley, it's by Santa Clara County. And we offer free assistance to help small local businesses navigating through the loan application process, and also in additional resources and support to help your business to succeed. I get updated almost on a daily basis directly from SBA and SBDC, which is important because there are so much going on, and sometimes even the news may not be accurate. As my personal business experience, I owned and managed a women's clothing boutique for over 15 years. I had a manufacturer and also did wholesale and retail. Combined with a finance degree, I definitely have a very good experience and expertise and knowledge in both business operations, sales, marketing, and finance. Currently, I'm sitting on advisory board for Industry Council for Small Business Development. I'm ambassador for Silicon Valley Central Chamber of Commerce, and also in the committee for Asian Affairs Business Committee with Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. As you know, I'm very active with the local business communities and helping small business owners to succeed. Before I start the presentation today, I'd like to have the disclaimer. First, details and guidelines regarding the CARE Acts are changing all the time. And that's why, first of all, I'm doing the weekly briefing. And second of all, this briefing, this information today is only up to date as of July 20th, just in case I missed something this morning. Okay, so I put the yesterday's date on it. And also what I present later on is more for educational purpose only, since each case, your business is different. So it should not be viewed for your legal advice for your situation. And definitely you can call me, and it's totally free to discuss your situation, and I can give you advices based on your situation. So now start with the 15-minute SBA disaster loan briefing. And also then I'm going to spend after the briefing, I'm going to spend about 30 minutes with the presentation, okay? So first of all, nothing dramatically new from last week, but for those of you who was not there last week, one thing is we know is the SBA now accept the new EIDL, and there's no more EIDL, economic injury disaster loan advance money. So that's the money basically was given to you, and that you do not need to giving to your business, should I say, and you do not need to return it. And that money is no longer there. And then some of the business, they did not get the money. And I asked the SBA, they were saying basically they have used the $20 billion funding. So therefore there's no more of the advance money. And so if you haven't gotten it, basically it's kind of done with, okay? So sorry about that. And they're still available. So if right now, because the situation with the COVID, I don't want to talk, it's so depressing. Well, anyway, with the new current situation, it may be a good idea to apply the EIDL loan, even though it's a loan, but it is for 30 years. And for business owners, it's 3.75, and you don't have to pay till the 12th months after you get funded. So it may be a good idea to get some kind of the money there, just for as your working capital, okay? And just in case, and also once you get it, if you decided you no longer need the loan, and then you can just have there's a slider, just put in 0, and then this way there's no obligation, there's no expenses at all for application, okay, purpose. And that new online form, I noticed that they don't have a line for other than cost of goods, they don't have a line for business operational cost. So my suggestion, even though they are they're different talks, right? Because some people, the operational cost is far exceed the cost of goods, and especially for people who are in service industry, probably their cost of goods is next to 0, very small. But you have so much operational costs, and since there's only the gross sales and revenue part and the cost of goods, I would suggest that you putting both of them there, okay? It's not very well defined, but that's just my suggestion, so that you will be able to get more fundings. Because if you put like cost of goods, say, $10,000 or something like that, for the year, you're not going to get much. But, and a lot of people got the EIDL, and they told me, like, Victoria, it's like my expenses, like this is only like for 2 months rent, that's it. And I have so many other expenses as well too, right? So that's why it's important, okay? And then the other one is that loan amount is, even though it says for 2 million, but most likely most of loans I seen is under 150,000, okay? And also, if you got a rejection letter, basically they call not rejection, they call decline letter, right? They say, well, mostly I seen those decline letter says, oh, it doesn't, 2 reasons. One is basically it shows that you don't need, there's not enough economic injury. And second, it was like the information is not clear or something, but it's very vague. So it's very important that you take a proactive measure, because you can ask them for reconsider, and then get they will, for the EIDL loans, and they will. And I also heard that because the current situation, and there's some fundings for the EIDL funding loans. So they are going to make the rule a little bit less tight, okay? Because it is a loan, and it is for, for continue on with your business. Nobody wants small business to basically close down, right? It really is important. Everybody that really wants to help in terms of your business, to have it continue, right? That's the business, that's the situation right now. So to reconsider email, it's pdcrecons@sba.gov. You can also call them. They said there's a fax number as well too, so maybe you can write something and fax to them. And this is the email you should write to them as well too. And also, if you need help, because I've seen enough of these declining letter, and I help quite a few of my clients to get them reconsider and got the loan in the end. Sometimes it could be just a mistake in terms of, when you apply, it was business. When you are checking account, it was your personal, it didn't match, or something very, very minimum, but it still got declined, right? So let me know. Maybe I can help you, and help you also write that reconsideration email for you, okay? So of course, it is, it is free, okay? So that service for you. So don't worry about it. I'm here to help, okay? And so the Paycheck Protection Flexibility Act, it has been enforced for several weeks now, probably over months. One thing very big is from 8 weeks to of the payroll period, now they are extended to up to 24 weeks of payroll period. But what it is, it's not the amount. When you do the calculation, when the PPP loan amount they gave you, it's still based on the same old calculation. Basically, it's the annual ones divided by 12 times 2.5 times, okay? But what it is now you don't have to spend, only take 8 weeks in order to use up all the funds. Right now you have 24 weeks to use up the fund. And then there's also the safe harbor in terms of your payroll, monthly average payroll, and also the same employment head count, which now is extended to December 31st, 2020. That doesn't mean that you have to spend the money till the December 31st, 2020, right? Whenever you stop the payroll, you just need to reinstall by December 31st, 2020, for the same head account in terms of full-time employment. And it's the 60%. I understand that probably people really already heard about that, so I'll be quick about that. 60% you can be used for payroll and other kind of payroll expenses, and then 40% can be used for rent, utility. But it's for W-2 earners and self-employed. They're still waiting for the guidelines, how much amount you can do, because most of them, the 8 weeks, they would want to, the whole amount, right? Is it forgivable? And also, if you have, if you and your employee are EDD, you have to notify the EDD to get a full or partial employment for your PPP disbursement period. Okay, so if you're paying money, you want to do that. But it is because of the 24 weeks, even though if you get the PPP, you can stop the slow down the payment and not, and then pay after the Pandemic Employment Act, that $600 extra money finishes. Okay, so that, and then since if your business is not open, I know a lot of places that now the reopening is slowed down on some of the bar and indoor dining, and some other things are now even closed right now, right? And the forgiveness period for your PPP is basically the 24 weeks is retroactive for all PPP, okay? But on the hand, the term before it was 2 years, now it's extended to 5 years. The 5 years, if it's not, your loan is not 100% forgiven, now you need to basically renegotiate with your lender and see if you want it for 5 years rather than for 2-year term. It's still 1% interest. Okay. And also it's not retroactive. You need to negotiate with your lender, because before the loan agreement you sign with the lender for PPP is your first payment is 7 months. Basically, since you get the money, the day you get the money, they start counting the 7th month you start to pay, right? But with the any loans after June 5th, it's the new that basically falls into the Flexibility Act. Now you don't have to pay till the 10th month of the covered period, and that you need to negotiate with your lender. And the new PPP deadline for apply and getting approved is August 8th. So we only have a few weeks to go. And I suggest that, anybody hasn't applied to PPP, talk to me. A lot of people, there are ways to apply. You might not think you're eligible to apply or qualify, but it takes, there are ways, okay? And I've been helping some of the business owners, using, whether it's using the K1 or it's using the Schedule C, or it's, you don't have to have payroll in order to do that, okay? So the deadline is August 8th, okay? And you want to apply it, a few days before that, because that's for getting approval, okay? And now with the EIDL, if you got the advance, it basically automatically goes into your account. Looks like SBDA trash and the amount. But as I said, now the advance money is already gone. But if you still need additional fund, and the EIDL, I would say, is still a very good way to get a relatively cheap kind of finance, okay? And very flexible, because you can basically pay there's no prepayment penalty, and it is 30 years. So it really is, gives you quite a bit of time to pay. And the link is covid19relief.sba.gov/#/. Okay, so that's basically the link. It's direct online. And if you need to email them, it's disaster customer service at sba.gov, or call them. I found them easier now to get a hold of, is 1-800-659-2955. And then they are open, I think, Eastern time, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, I think. Okay, so, and then the reconsideration email right there. Okay. And for the SBDC help, we have basically over 1,000 centers throughout the United States, all funded by SBA and the local government. And that's sba.gov/local dash assistant dash found. And then you just need to put in your zip code and put SBDC in there. And then you would find the center near you can help you. Of course, these days we do a lot of them online, you know, so if you need my help, I can definitely help you. Here's, you know, once you get into the link, that's gonna how it's gonna look when you go apply the EIDL, okay? And the key point for the PPP accounting purpose is that your lender will require a detailed documentation for your PPP transaction in order for your PPP to be forgiven 100%, right? So you want to use a spreadsheet or Google Sheet or handwritten journal for all transaction, and make sure that you archive all the relevant receipts, because a lot of receipts are like these Somo paper, they change colors, you know, they fade, right? So, and also if you use credit cards, you want to make sure that you isolate that expenses, pay them separately through your credit card, you know, like when you do the credit card payment, don't just pay it all once through the, you know, your regular business account, right? You want to make sure that you separate that part is basically the relevant expenses, so that it can be forgiven, okay? And like even if you have a payroll, right? Payroll, there's a section of a payroll that's not included, you know, in the tax section or whatever. So you want to separate that so that it's clear what part of payroll is forgiven, okay? So that's basically separating, isolating relevant expenses. And also one good thing, is simple thing to do is to create, you know, to open a separate checking account, and then that amount you can either write the check to it, from that to reimburse it, and you know, wrote it very carefully in the memo part, this is for this and that, right? So now your statement, bank statement with amount, with the check stubs, or if you're doing online, in the memo section also make a detailed note there, and that will give you the documentation you needed for the forgiveness, okay? And also now that there is the forgiveness form available, although I don't think the bank, the lenders are right now doing the forgiveness yet. I think they probably will do it starting after August 8th. So right now, but I did talk to some of the banks. They are already no longer taking the PPP loan. They are already done with. They probably will start to processing this, okay? You have the easy SBA form 3508, which are for self-employed, or you don't have W-2 employees, or you did not reduce your employees' pay for more than 25%, and no reduction of hours. Okay, so basically the number 3 is pretty much similar, reduction in business activity, and no reduction of business activity and employee pay due to COVID health activities. Okay, so so those are the ones. Then you can use the easy form. Easy form is really very simple to do. Okay, so then there is one, most of the business maybe have to do the 3508. That's the regular form with the worksheet, and also pay for the employee calculation, compensation, local tax, and also compensation paid to owners and general partners. And FTE, that's full-time employment reduction safe harbor. So if there are certain cases, I'm not going to go in detail today, but if there are certain cases that requires the person's not coming back or whatever, safe harbor means that you don't have to restore that person. So you don't have to hire another person in order for this person to replace that person for the headcount. Okay, so that's what the safe harbor is. And then if you want a checklist from me, let me know. I will email you. It's the checklist to get 100% PPP forgiveness. business. Okay, that basically the things. It's pretty easy, 4 steps. That's great. It convenient to have. Now, one thing before I finish the briefing, there is the pandemic employment assistance, right? First of all, also it's still available for sole proprietor, independent contractors. The normal unemployment is because of pandemic is the 39 weeks of benefit. Excuse me. Basically beginning February 2nd to December 26th, 2020. Okay, and that's just depending. It depends. It's not necessary from this time, right? It's still depending on the pandemic. If you're directly impact from that, that's the 39 weeks. But now a lot of people are, and that's the most talked subject is that, and the PUA, the additional $600 a week for Pandemic Employment Act weekly benefit, right? And because of that, there's a lot of controversial, and also there's a lot of people don't want to go back to work. So this is still going, this is going to be end of this month on July 31st. Okay, that's the additional fund. And for a lot of people, the employment is very low, like, for that, but the 600, because it's crossed the, doesn't, regardless of how much you made before, it's, it's 600, for employment full-time person, right? So that's 2,400 or more a month. So that's going to finish by the end of this month, July 31st. And they are talking in the Congress, they are going to extend, but it's going to be mended. The Congress has already said that basically it's not going to be $600. It's going to be depending on your pay. Okay, so what is what is going to happen? We don't know. Congress is going to be in session probably after the end of month, beginning of next month, right? So they're going to talk about that, and also they're going to also discuss second round of the PPP because the COVID situation is still very rampant, and a lot of businesses are still forced to close, or because of social distancing, a lot of business cannot be in full capacity at all, maybe not even 50% of capacity, right? So there are talks, which all of those are not in, the last one, the modified PUA and second round of PPP, they are only talks. I just want you guys to have some preparation for that. But there's talk about the second round of PPP, but what they are going to target, those PPP are really for mom and pop shops, the smaller business that doesn't really need it the most. And also depending on the, the nature of business, right? Because some business gets affected a lot more than the other business. So that's basically going to be a more selective PPP. But still, it's good to know that it's still going to be, there's still going to be possibility of a second round. But if you haven't applied, till August 1st, it's only for August 8th, I'm sorry, till August 8th. Right now, the PPP is only for the people who have not applied, okay? And then the second round may come, I just have to say, because it may come. There's a lot of talk about it, but it's not into law yet. I just want to emphasize on that, okay? So that basically concludes my weekly briefing. I talked a little bit more than 15 minutes. So contact me if you have any question. My name again is Victoria Brasha. My phone number you can call toll free. That's 833-382-1118. Or you can email me at info@victoryfinanceinc.com and visit my website, victoryfinanceinc.com, and there's a specific page related to the pandemic, a lot of information regarding the application and everything, okay? And also, if you have question that's kind of hard to just explain from a message or whatever, email, you can book 15-minute appointments that you can go online and book it, or you can go directly with the link calendarly.com/victoryfinance/15min. Okay, so you can book it that way as well too. Okay, now let's start with this Tuesday's webinar. That's the sales and expense projection based on your business model and your business financials. As we know that the business has changed quite a bit, and really we kind of have to reevaluate our business model, and also finance as well too. So today I'm going to talk about this topic. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, let's do your business sales and expense projections together. Okay, if you want to grab a piece of paper, pen in the middle, it's a good idea for you to write down some of the things. Okay, and I have 25 minutes to complete this. Okay, because I talked a little bit too much on the update part. Okay. So I like to break down things in a more simple process so that it's, a lot more understandable and a lot more able to for you to implement. So the 3-step today for the sales and revenue and expense projection is step 1 is basically define and redefine your business model. And the step 2 is your sales and revenue projections. And step 3 is list all your business expenses. So let's get started. So the first step 1 is your define and redefine your business mix. Okay, I know that as I mentioned earlier, because of this current pandemic, your business model may change before you know your business model, and it's a good idea. Even you have been in business a while, what the niche market you're serving, but it's still a good idea to write down what is customer desires and what do you intend to sell, and your goal and the financial target. And then also, in the circle in the middle is how you can make money. Is combining all what the customer needs and what you want to sell and your financial goals together. Okay, and okay, and then write down basically your product mix, whether you sell product, you have retail store, your e-commerce, your wholesaling, right? Your business model is more focused on product, okay? Or maybe your business is service, whether, hair salon, spa, dentistry, right? Doctors, a lot of school, preschool, daycare, right? A lot of business are more service oriented, right? And then you have business, maybe educational, informational, consulting business, right? So those are main 3 type of businesses, right? And now, of course, with the current situation, maybe before you're focusing on one, now you may need to focusing on several, right? Even product, even say before you were just doing, say, I have a client before, all he does is B2B. He sells wholesale to his product to the distributors, to the people that does the wholesale, right? But now he has to do retail because he knows his product is very popular, and he needs to get to the retail market. And he did set up a website, but website alone is not enough, right? There's a lot more to it. Just, you know, setting up an e-commerce, setting up a site, setting up something is not enough. So, but the first step is to see like what you want to do, what you were doing, and what you want to do to expand your business service. And then also your, you know, product, right? A lot of product actually gets into the educational aspect. Say if you sell healthcare kind of, you know, product, right? You know, good for, you know, health and wellness, right? If it's for medicinal use or whatever it is, right? Say, I don't know, vitamins, let's say. It's not some kind of, you know, things that's good for you. Or say skincare, let's say skincare, it's a product, right? But still you want to now, you know, your business is kind of blend into the educational, because you want to give people ideas how they can make their skin healthy and beautiful and young looking, right? All those things that they kind of combine each other. And then the other thing is also your service, right? Has also part of the consulting aspect to it too. So there are a lot of intermix, and you could be service, but you also say, let's take skincare again. You may have the service, but maybe you can also sell products as well too, related to skincare. Not only just you have a spa, you know, business, and you do the facial for people, right? So there are different things you can do to mix that. So it's a good idea to write it down, and then see what is your business mix, right? So the product and price, and then also where you want to do your business. Is it, you know, in the physical location, or is it online, or is it e-commerce, right? Online depends on, you know, online, you know, we're talking online, right? It could be still one-on-one, or it can be one-to-many, webinar, or more meeting type. It's more of a mastermind group, right, where everybody talks and you are the one basically hosting it and also charging people money for that, right? So there are a lot of format you can do, and promotions, like how you can reach your customer, right? So those are going to affect, all those are going to affect your bottom line, your business. Okay, so your first step is define. And this is your notebook, right? It's your notes. Step one is define and redefine my business model, and the ones I talked about. And then basically you want to write it down, and then on the right hand side and left hand side, you know, write down some keywords, key points. So this way you can, you know, keep on writing there, and then kind of organize your thought and summarize your thought through the left-hand side. You know, that's pretty good technique I use, so that, you know, otherwise it's kind of like trying to make it methodical, and then I'm like, okay, so this way, this is like, okay, these are those key points, you know, then I can just keep on writing. So that's the first point. Okay, so step two is project your sales and revenue, right? At the end of the day, we provide service, we provide product, you know, we have to spend quite a bit of money to do the, you know, to do the business, is to generate revenue, right? First generate sales, and then the you know, then the minus the expenses. That's what we want to take home, right? So write down last year, okay? So for last year, how much was your gross sales, your net income, and how many customer and clients? I know some of the retail shop, like I had a clothing store, it is difficult to, you know, for me really to estimate how many customers. I can see the transactions, right? So I can tell you how many transactions, because I have point of sale system, and how many customers, even though the point sale system does have, you know, you can put the customer, but a lot of time my sales lady, especially when they're busy, you know, they don't put in the the information. So it's kind of losing track of some of the sales. I don't know who, what, right? Even though it's pretty fancy point of sale system. But at least, for some people, like especially if you're in service related and, you know your customer and clients, you can probably memorize. But the others, for retail sale, maybe how many transactions, okay? Because that's easy figure for you to come up with. And then let's say, forget about the first part of the year. To me, 2020, like the first, from the, like the excitement of the, coming to a new decade, 2020, to end of June, it's kind of a blur for me, in a way, because it's just so much going on, so much of uncertainty. And now we're here now, kind of so from July, okay, or from even August forward, just calculate, how much for the next 12 months, what do you want, how much will be your, I see a typo here, how much will be your sales, gross sales, and how much money you want to make, and how many customers and clients you want to acquire, and attain and also acquire as well too, okay? So that's going to help you to project your sales number. Okay, because as we know, the first step is the defining your product and service, right? And how many people. Now, if you times your customers and price for your product or your services, that's going to give you the sales figure. And also you can take your last year's sales figure if you're being in business for more than a year, right? If not, you can just kind of estimate, project what you want to achieve, okay? So for that, you will be able to have the sales figure, okay? Just times the sales, the product and sales and all that together, okay? So write down what you want. Then the step 3 is basically list your business expenses. As we know, there are many parts to the business, right? Just to have the, in order to make a sale, there are a lot needs to go into the sale. Whether if you're a brick and mortar store, you have to rent, you have to have payroll, there's also, and taxes you have to pay, licensing, right? There's a lot to it. And also your inventory, cost of goods, service maybe a little bit less. If you're, retail shops, more of, for me, I had a clothing store, a lot of inventory because I have to keep on having something new, right? So so write down, decide first of all, what things do you need, will be your cost of goods, right? That's tied into your product and service you want to provide. It's going to decide what kind of cost good you need. If you have a clothing store, right? Women's clothing store, what kind of styles you want to carry, after you figure out what's your target clientele and what kind of price you want to, do, right? For spa, what kind of, spa, there are quite a few spas I know. So a lot of them, the price, or say haircut, right, salon, they are relatively similar, so they may be not as, it's not as simple in terms of how much per person you can charge, but there are other part of it, what kind of product you use. Are you selling these products as well too? What other additional service you want to have, right? So there are a lot of, to decide what is your cost of good or your service, right? And then you list your all operational expenses. Are you going to rent? Do you want to, are you doing an online service? All you need is the website hosting. And do you need something, you know, you're doing a promotion yourself, you need about some kind of software. Like the one software I use a lot is Canva. Canva, to create images, right? It's actually, it's free. They are paid version. I use the paid version, but they are free versions as well too. And a lot of them at the beginning, it's a free version. Maybe it's adequate for you, so you don't have to pay. But as you know, as it gets a little bit more now, you may need a paid version for the softwares as well too. So in addition to the rent or utility, or maybe you don't have the rent, right? And now, once you list the expenses you need in order for you to provide that service and the products, right? Now you want to mark all the expenses you can reduce or maybe eliminate, because a lot of, I had to go through too, because right now we really in the stage that we need to be really lean, right? Running lean before the business good, you know, it's some waste here and there. It's okay, you know, $10 here, $20, you know, I'm into software, right? Subscriptions and all that. And it's like, you know, I don't pay a lot of attention, but now actually adds up, you know, at the end of months, you know, it's actually several $100s, because, you know, I have things that can edit the file. I have things doing this, like a Canva, which is for graphics and different things, right? So then you look at it at the end of months when it adds up to a few $100s. A lot of these few $100s, maybe I can eliminate or reduce them or change to a lower price plan, right? Like the web hosting, I have different, you know, there are different hosting plan. And since I'm not as active on my website, you know, I can, you know, reduce the hosting plan so that I don't have to pay as much as when I was active, doing a lot in the web host website, right? So there are a lot of things that you can do to reduce it, and it's very important to go through that steps, because you'll be surprised to find out that, you know, you can save quite a bit. Okay, so and then the other step, so step 3 is the list all my business expenses. Okay, and then remember to also mark the expenses you can eliminate and reduce. Okay, the final step, now we're putting it all together, right, is to create that sales and expense projection. Again, I showed that graphic earlier. It's the mix, right? The price, the 4 P's usually they call the product, price, place, and promotion. Now you know all that. The promotion is what kind of you know, budget expenses you need to advertise to get your people, your client, your target customers to come and buy your product and service, right? So the in the expense projection, you want to include the promotion aspect as well too. So when you put it together, you know, going through that 4 steps, now you can create a sales and revenue and expense projections. Because now if you define what is your product prices and product, and what are prices and how much you think you can sell, just do estimate, right? And if you have the business last year, you can use last year as a measuring stick, okay? To you know, to plan for the next 12 months. If you are new, you know, you can redefine it, or if you need to make adjustments, same thing. And then figure out at what kind of product, at what price, and how many people, right? How many clients, how many transactions you can sell. And then that's going to give you the gross sales and revenue. And now you're going to take minus the place, right? Whether it's online, whether it's at home, you know, so and also whether you need payroll, if it's you or you need help, right? Your employees to get that sales, right? And also the product, is it cost money? You want to minus the cost of goods. And then any other operational expenses, and also marketing expenses as well too. And a lot of you may have already gotten the, you know, EIDL loan or some other loans. So you have credit cards, you know, so you want to also calculate the interest and also the payment, right? The interest, you know, expense is considered expense. The payment is a loan repayment, so you don't think, you know, that part is does not consider as an expense, even though it's going to impact your cash flow. But the interest would have become an expense. Okay, so that's the one to put it together for your sales and expense projection. Okay. And in the end, basically, it's going to look like, you know, this is not, you know, it's just an example. Okay, I just got an image from online. But basically, it's going to have your last year and then your next 12 months. So you're going to have two columns. Okay. And then it's going to have your gross sales. Whatever sales, you can do it in the spreadsheet as you know, price times the number of customer transactions, right? And then minus the cost of goods, you know. So when you use minus in the spreadsheet, it will automatically become this way, you know, with a bracket. Okay. And then whatever other additional income you have, and also any additional costs you have. Okay, so that's going to give you the sales and the expense projection, and then at the end it will give you what's your net income before tax. Okay, so that's a good way to do it. And it's, you know, once you have those 3 steps, going through 3 steps, it should not be too hard to come to this sheet. And again, if you need help, I'm there to help you. Okay, and that's fine. So now the Tuesday and the Thursday, my upcoming webinars, and remember, Tuesday ones is always going to be the money matter for your business. So next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, it's going to be how to get additional business loans and get your financing order, because I know that a lot of businesses are still not open, especially the PPP money. You know, a lot of them already depleted that. So that, and you know, they may need additional loans or additional grant. Like right now, I'm working, I just finished working with the city of Sunnyvale for the grant. And now I'm, next week, I'm going to start working with the city of Cupertino for grants as well too. So a lot of area, you know, it's worthwhile for you to really check with your city and or your Chamber of Commerce to see if there's any kind of grants, because right now there are a lot of grants going on. And there's also a one fund called, you know, kind of Kiva, that there's also helping lower income businesses, okay, disadvantaged businesses, minority businesses. So there are also a lot of those kind of funding as well available. So make sure that you take the time to look through those. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And then Thursdays, and it's going to end this month. It's going to be focusing on business sales and marketing. I talked about the business operation, the reopening, and now this week and next week, I'm going to focus more on sales and marketing. How can you get more customers in the COVID-19 era. Okay, so it's more how, you know, even if your business still closed right now, like right now, I know like in Santa Clara County, the bars are not, you know, indoor dining bars are is closed. And now before they were going to open the gym, and then they were going to open the, like the hair, you know, spa, all these places, now they're going to be remain closed. So even just think about it, even if your business is more service oriented, it's closed, there's still ways to get some kind of revenue. And I'm going to talk to you about that on this Tuesday, and also next Tuesday as well too. Okay, so it different ways, and also getting your business online, you know, social media marketing in that aspect as well too. Okay, so that's 3 p.m. Pacific time, Thursdays. And definitely I will provide you and the strategies there, so you can adapt and pivot your business in the COVID-19 era, so you can survive and even thrive. Because even though we're in difficult time, but that also means there are opportunity as well too. Okay, so you just have to, there are always two sides to everything, right? There's always a good and a bad, you know. So we want to also see if there's some activity, you know, opportunity as well too, right? And I'll teach you too in the 3 key areas of the business, which is money matters, business operation, and sales and marketing. And so register now. I will post it online. I think it's on the Eventbrite as well too. Okay. And also our company, me, you know, and also I have some independent contractors. We can help you to, you know, help your business. We offer done for you services. And because of COVID, actually a lot of time a lot of advice, a lot of things I've been just do it for people without charging anything, just to help you guys out. But some of the service, it depends, right? So I'm going to, the done for you services help to create and execute your business planning, and provide you with the tools and template to help your business and with your sales and projection. So like you know, when I do the webinar, I have to be a little bit more general, because there are so many difference, the numbers are so different, right? And the expense is also very different depending on your business. So, but if it's your business, your industry, right? Now I can help you to do something tailor fit for your business, okay? And a spreadsheet to help you to track your PPP spending. So that thing, all you need is just email me, and I can email you the spreadsheet for you. But on the hand, if you need help, just call me, and I can kind of go through what you need to do for the PPP to be forgiven, okay? And develop your new sales and marketing strategy. I talked about early the, you know, the marketing mix, right? The 4 P's, the product and price and place and promotion. So how, you know, it's going to apply to your business. Sometimes it's easy, just, you know, people probably heard the general aspect of it, because there are a lot of webinars and calls, they're very generalized, right? Because they have to, because they're not talking to you alone. They have to kind of appeal to a wider variety of business in a sense. But here, I can help you to develop something specific just for your business, okay? And the social media setup and marketing, and build your website or ramp your website. Maybe your website hasn't been, you know, you build the business before, you know, with the website, and after that you haven't done much with it. Now that you need to redo, or maybe need to update, and then it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, you know, the person who was helping me is no longer, and here I'm not sure, right? So those are the things if you need help with, and basically pick whatever you need help with, and you know, we can set appointment. A lot of things, as I say, I can help you for free. It really depends on how much intensive it requires, right? Some it may requires a lot, and I have a customer. I was offering free help, and then he texted me this long list, right? Like 8 things, and each 8 pieces, like each one line is like a one, like I would say at least a part-time help if it's not full-time help, and 8 things he's expecting, like I'm helping him with. And I was telling him, I can help you maybe develop a personnel to help you doing all this, because those eight projects, it's great, it's very important for your business, but it really requires a lot more manpower than you think it would be. So, and so we are still in a talking, and things, right? But still, so that's why I say it depends on, level or the help you need. But at least I definitely can give you few hours to help you out. Okay. Okay, and then if you need to get a hold of me, so a toll-free number, 833-382-1118, or info@victoryfinanceinc.com. Actually, it's probably easier to email me than calling me, just because a lot of time I'm on the meeting or webinar, and so it's harder for me just to answer the phone calls. But on the hand, if you just want to book a free appointment, you can just go to calendarly.com/victoryfinance/15MIM. Okay, so, okay, I'm a few minutes after. Okay, so. Okay, I just want to, before I finish, I just want to say thank you for attending my webinar. I really appreciate your time and attending the webinar, and I hope that I have added value to, to help your business. And also additionally, I want to help you to, for your business to be successful. So feel free to contact me, and definitely I want to do my share to help the business to succeed. Okay, I think if we all stand united and help each other, we will overcome this hardship right now. Okay, so thank you, and take care and stay healthy. Bye, everyone.